Good morning, everybody. It's great to be back. Oh my goodness. I think I haven't done a live stream for like 6 weeks and no events for 8 weeks since we completed our May retreat. So I'm super excited to be back on board for our Monday morning live with Nat. And I've got myself prepared and packed because I'm on the way out to the airport this morning, and I will be traveling for the second national tour of 2018, starting off with Brisbane today. So flying out at 1 o'clock today. So as I normally do, I will share this live in a couple of groups. So you're going to give me a couple of minutes. And anyway, we officially kick off at 9 a.m. So let me just do that one on my other laptop here. And I also have a few exciting announcements as well as all my insights from the month in Thailand and what that revealed about life and business. Good morning to lots of people joining in. Kitty, Lorraine, great to see you. Hey, Steph, thank you. Yes, I've been away for 5 weeks and literally have had 2 months off. Well, this is our 2 months sort of recharge stint that happens in the middle of the year every year, because we had the most busiest 4.5 months at the start. We did 27 flights, I don't know how many events, over 40 events, 3 retreats. We had gone to the US, to Dubai and everywhere. So it's been crazy. So let me just do the share, and then I'll let you guys know the exciting bits of what has come out. Of course, last night I announced this coming into my hot little hands, my 9th book, Shut Up and Write Your First Book. But there's other things, because not only, yes, we have had 2 months off, but in the background, we've been setting up and building some new products and things that are going to, bring in new value into the business for our clients and set up the back end of 2018 for us. So it's really exciting. Okay, let me just do this, what I said I was going to do, because I do share it into my 2 big groups. Share to a group. Okay. Great to see you all, guys. All right, hang on a second. All right, so Ultimate Business Support. If you're not part of that group, jump on board. There's like over 15,000 members there that we have, so that's shared across there. I have lots of things to share with you guys. Look, I'm even like typed it all up, and I'm like all prepared, fresh back from the holidays. All right, one more group to share it into, which is the Author Your Way to Riches group. And we'll get into it. All right. Okay, all done. Okay, so what I thought I'd do is let you guys know, first of all, the new thing. So, of course, I showed you guys that that the Shut Up and Write Your First Book has come out. This was a collaboration of over 50 authors in a way. Yeah, of course, it was. I wrote, 70% of it. The back end of this book, 30% of it, is 12 interviews of authors from different walks of life that have gone through our program and have written their book, as well as there's a bonus downloadable ebook which is featured in the book, because I couldn't fit them. I had over 50 people wanting to be part of this book, and I couldn't fit everybody, but everybody, like, in the end, it was really hard choice. So at the back of the book, there's like a downloadable free ebook, which you can go and grab there. There's a bit.ly link, it's called, and then the back end of it is Shut Up free ebook. I'll post all the links, by the way, at the end of this call, because there's a few things obviously that I'm going to let you know about. And so that's over 90 pages as well. So I didn't put it in this book. There's actually kind of 2 books with one book. This one is about 140 pages. The other one's 90 pages. It's about 250 pages worth of stuff, insights, for those people who haven't yet taken the leap to complete their first books. And something that some of you will be very excited about to know is that the 2019 planners have landed. There they are. Here we go. I don't know where the video is. But the 2019 planners have landed. I didn't announce this. They came 3 or 4 days ago, but I was waiting until today, because today freshly marks the start of this second half for us. And basically the reason I get the planner's done so early is because I already have 2019 planned out in a way that I actually printed off those pages for the annual planner. And actually in the 2019 planner, I decided I was going to add 2020 yearly planner because anyway, as soon as it gets about April the previous year, I'm already planning the following year. So I actually added some new things and features and all that kind of stuff. Again, I'll post the link about where to get them, and it actually has an insider view video of what the planner looks like this year that I recorded the other day. So I've got it all super organized, and anyone that buys them, whatever stock I've got left of 2018, I think I only have 25 on stock, I'll send you a bonus one of that one. So let's get into the content, and I'll recap everything and tell you about you know, what's coming up as well next week with the masterclass and the national tour and all that sort of stuff. But let's talk about Thailand and what Thailand taught me about life and business, and some of the insights along the way. This live may go over half an hour, just to let you know ahead of time. Please comment, share, like, whatever it is you'd like to do, and of course I'll answer those questions. All right, so let me just see here. Okay, I'll start off from the top. They're not in any particular order. I have got my list of things to talk through. So every time we got to a new destination, so we swapped 4 places while we were in Thailand. We don't like sitting in the same spot for a month. So basically we started off with Bangkok 5 days, and then we went a full week. And the last place was 8 days in 3 different spots. The first spot was a remote, middle of the nowhere, up the mountains. You could see them, obviously the sea over the top, no one around, like really like just feeling like you're totally removed after the craziness of Bangkok. The second spot was First Bungalow, which was a bungalow right on the beach. We stayed there like 4 times before and we love it. And that was kind of right on ground zero, if you like. And then the third spot was Chabatsamu, which was right in the middle of everything, you know, the middle of the main street, but it was like also on the beach, but a lot more people and social interaction, if you like. So the point of all of this is every time we get to a new place, we feel we hate it for a day. It's like, this is no good. There's no people here. Where are we going to get food? You know, this place is too small. Like, you know, you're going from the big mansion house, 3 bedrooms, to like a bungalow, you know, just shifting. And what this got me thinking and working out as we go through, I mean, we always do this on our holidays, but we now know to calm down and just let the first day and a half play out. Because after about a day and a half, we start to get into a routine or find our way around things. And that got me thinking, you know, how every time I try something new in life or in business, there's going to be that certain level or time period of discomfort. Where you hate it, it's not comfortable, you don't like it, and then you get used to it and you develop a routine. Which brings me to the routine, and of course traveling with 3 kids, and kids, they've said that everyone has said kids thrive on routine, but I have always throughout the years have said adults thrive on routine as well, because it gives us that structure and it enables us to achieve our goals and all that kind of stuff. So as we had adjusted to each new place, we worked out then the following days ended up having a certain routine. At a certain time we got up in the morning, what we did, like Stuart and I actually swam. We built up our swimming every single day. We did not miss. It was part of the routine where we'd get up, we'd have you know, just to chill out a little bit, then go by the pool, have a bit of a read, then do our swimming, you know, breakfast amongst all of that, you know, coffee, all that kind of stuff. But, you know, it's something to, next time you're trying something new or you're shifting something in your business, it's going to feel, you know, uncomfortable, and just to just let it play out, because, and just be patient. Of course, you know, sometimes you might feel stressed or anxious and all that kind of stuff, but it's really important to let that period play out. We also have a rule when we go on holidays that we're not allowed to fight in the first 24 hours because of traveling. As you would know, every human being, when they're super tired, is a lot more, short with people, and kids start throwing tantrums and all that kind of stuff. So whenever, we are on the road, we know, we're not allowed to fight. And that was very important to remember on our trip back when we had to travel for 42 hours. And I'll explain in a minute. So my first point was that your comfort zone, every time you're in a new surrounding or a new place, is going to be shaken up and you're probably going to hate it. But I'm the first to admit that very first place where we were in the middle of nowhere, up in the mountains with no car and nowhere to get to anything, I absolutely hated it. But it ended up being my most favorite out of all the places, because we ended up getting a car the following day. We solved one problem, and then we could take ourselves everywhere. So we became our own little tour guides, and it's like, oh, let's pop in here, let's go there, let's park the car here, let's eat here, and all that. So it gave us so much choice, but yet we had this sanctuary that we could come back to in the afternoons and evenings, that it would give us nice peace and quiet, beautiful views, and like as if we owned the whole surrounding. So that was really, really cool. All right, so next one is, I'm going to talk about Pancake Man, Mr. Choi. So Pancake Man is a guy that hung out at the second place we stayed in on the island, which was the bungalow place. And Mr. Choi's been there every single time we've visited. So now we've been going to first bungalow for like 8 years. So I reckon we've been there 4 times. And he's seen us have kid number 1, kid number 2, kid number 3. And now all kids are a little bit growing up and all that. But it's amazing. Every single time we go there, Mr. Choi remembers us. By the way, we only learned his name this time. We asked what his name was and all that sort of stuff. And every single day we would go after dinner. That was our dessert. We'd have our Nutella and banana pancakes. But the point of this story is how amazing Thai people are at remembering, tourists and people that they've seen from the past, and building that relationship even though you don't see them regularly, right? So they have an amazing memory, and that serves for great customer service. My sis Francesca, who I'm going to see later today, she's always said, Nat, because I don't know how you remember people's names. Like, I see so many people, and I'm really good at remembering people's names and faces. I would have to say that, she goes, I just hardly remember anybody, it's just amazing how you have this recall. And I think that's really important to build a muscle around that, because it does build a deeper relationship with our people who even we know socially, to know and remember stuff about their lives. But in this case, Mr. Choi, he was like the kid's best friend throughout the holiday. And even because we went and bought something off him every single day, on the 7th day was Mika's birthday. And with Mika's birthday, he said, look, please don't pay me today. This is my present to Mika. And he gave us 2 pancakes. Now, it's a big deal for someone to give away their stuff over there, because they're not as well off to give away. But because we built a relationship also with him, he felt like he was part of the family. So we took videos and photos, and we put candles in this pancake, and he sang happy birthday and all that sort of stuff. And it was a really awesome experience. We also had a similar experience with the ice cream man at the 3rd place. Lek was his name, and he looked after us the whole time. Once the kids ran off and went to buy ice cream from somebody else, and we didn't stop them in time, and they paid nearly double the price. And Mr. Lek knew, other people charge more and all this sort of stuff. And it was really, really interesting how those people that we built rapport and relationships with, they were looking out for us, helping us, bending over backwards to just make sure we were having a great time, and vice versa. We were very loyal to them as well. My chicken lady, my ice cream man, and the pancake man was really cool. All right, so rapport building. So that whole story. Remember people's names, remember things about their lives, and of course, have that consistency and look after those people that are part of your tribe. So a lot of you guys that are watching this video have been following me, have been part of my life, and I consistently turn up or tell you if I'm not going to be around, like for the last 5 weeks, and I'm here and delivering value and being showing that I'm stable, that I'm not going anywhere. So what mostly people want to know is that they're going to be safe and they're going to be looked after you, and that you're going to fulfill on your promises. So what people want mostly is to know that you're going to fulfill on your promises and follow through on what you said you're going to do. All right, so let's go back to the, I'm just kind of skipping on the different parts of the trip where we had insights, but there was, back in Bangkok, one of the first couple of days when we were there was a girl that came around to our table while we were eating this massive Oreo toast. Now, Oreo toast is like this, almost like a little loaf of bread that they toast and they put all this chocolate and all that. We remembered it from 2 years ago when we went to discover where this place was. And we ordered one, and obviously all 5 of us ate one, and we ordered another one. And anyway, we ate so many Oreo toasts that we don't want to see them anymore for another 2 years. But while we were eating Oreo toast, there was this girl who came around tables, and she was selling those 4-color pens. We have them here, the red, blue, green, black. And so she offered 4-color pens to us. And we said, no, we don't need them. Like, we don't need them for anything. And we said, no, thank you. And next to us, there was another lady. And so, of course, she then went to the next person to offer her 4-color pens, because that's probably the way she makes a living. And so the lady looked at her and I had a conversation. And in the end, she bought a pen from her. And we turned around and we observed all of this, and the kids watched it as well because it was right next to us. And the kids said, we said to the kids, well, guys, that, the more, every 1 in every 10 people that she asks is bound to say yes. And so it's just really a numbers game or what she's doing. And Mika just turns around really just kind of like, oh, so we must have been the 9th one. And we just cracked up laughing because, she deducted that, if she'd said 1 in 10, then we must have been the 9th. So the 10th person bought her pen, and then she starts from 1, which is really, really cool. And that's how you can even choose to look at your own business, is like when you're asking people, like for example, 9 in every 10 people who want to write a book, who have a conversation with me or come to my events, are not going to say yes or progress to do our retreat program, right? We always look to increase our conversion rates and all that sort of stuff, but at the end of the day, there's somewhere that you average out. Sometimes you do better, sometimes you do worse, sometimes you do nothing at all. But whenever I look at the overall summary of my years, I can see a consistent pattern of where the conversion rate happens. So think about that. How many people are you asking every single day for a sale? And how many are actually rejecting you? So because every single rejection gets you closer to a yes. And that's an oldie but a goodie, and a good one to remember, because every single one of those people in Thailand are constantly asking for this sale. And if they don't, their livelihood is on their line. So how, perhaps here in Australia, not having such harsh, situations to live in, perhaps we don't have enough pain up our butts to get us out there and actually to ask for more rejection, right? Because over there, if they don't get to eat, or they don't get to put a roof over their heads or look after their families. And sometimes I often say to people, maybe the reason you're not taking action, or the reason you're not asking for a sale, is because maybe you're just too comfortable in your own life. So this is not going to be make or break you. So think about all of that, because a lot of people can be stuck in this, and sales is a big topic we've brought up time and time again. I've done a 2-day masterclass on this, and we can be all reserved and shy and feel like, oh, I don't want to be intrusive, but to the detriment to whom and what, because ultimately, if you don't do it and you want to run a successful business, it ain't gonna happen unless you get out there and actually ask for the sale. All right, so that's the girl selling the pens. All right, so back to the swimming that I mentioned before. So I'll just relate swimming to running a little bit here. So I've never run. Every time I start to run, you know, obviously when you don't have the stamina, you haven't done it for a consistent enough period of time, you don't feel like you get tired, like you'll run 500 meters and it's like you're about to die, right? And I've always been very admiring of other people who can run for long periods of time. And so swimming became this thing that we thought, you know, I do my PT twice a week. I just did it today. I do my 7-minute workout other 2 times a week. But I want to just mix it up because it's obviously really hot and humid in Thailand. And I didn't want to be doing exercise in the humidity. So I thought maybe swimming is a way to bypass this. It feels really good. I'm there with the kids in the pool. We can do something together with Stuart and it'll still get my exercise done. And so the first place, we started off with 10 laps, okay? And I said to Stuart, we'll start off with 10 laps of this pool, and then every day we're going to build up 2 laps. So we go 12, 14, 16, 18. And the first pool wasn't as big as the following 2 pools at the following 2 places, but still it was a challenge because we were just beginning from not swimming at all, and we just do breaststroke. And she goes, there's no way I'm going to do like 24 laps on the last day. But every day we just added, could you do another 2? Could you do another 2? And certainly we'd turn up. And we'd always do it at the same time of every day. Like it became just part of the routine. At the end of the first place, we took our steps to measure the pool to see how long the first pool was. And then we went to the second place so we compare it to see where we left off. So we would continue on from there. And so we would continue from those 24 laps and then move on. The next place pool was 3 times the size of the first place. So I think it was like a 25-meter one. And there we decided we'd start up at 8 laps and then we'll build up 1 because it was such a big, long one. And so we ended up at that one at 14. And then we went to the third one, which had a middle, in-between size pool. And that one we ended up at 34 laps by the end of our 8 days over there. What my point of this story is that by the end of it, so we would say by this stage we were swimming 22 days straight in a row every single morning. We built it up to 20 minutes, and in the end, in the last few days, we didn't even have to stop. Like in the first few days, we were stopping after every couple of laps, and you know, taking rest and making sure, you know, we don't kill ourselves. But by the end, it was just like, yep. Keep going, keep going, keep going, and we did it. So the point of this story is that sometimes we want to see a change in something and we give it a go, you know, intensely for maybe a week and a half, but we don't actually, and then we sort of go off and then maybe come back. So we kind of dabble in things, but really to get true results, consistency, and to build up stamina, consistency is super important. And that's why I've written here, results are seen over a longer period of time. This is where I sometimes feel that people, when they're starting business, they're going hammer and tong for like 6-9 months. And the most dangerous month is month number 9 from when you have started your business, because at that point is, you know, all that honeymoon period could have worn off, and you need to get into that consistent turn up, do the work, go, revise, evolve, all of that kind of stuff. Keep going out there, asking for the sale, keep going out there, getting rejected, not having this opportunity come through, not having that opportunity come through. You know, lots of no's to get to 1 yes, and then, you know, it starts to swing the other way, but people don't go long enough, consistent enough to start seeing that swing towards it. So it's really important to turn up every day. And not every day did we feel like swimming. There were days, like one day Stuart was nearly going to die. He goes, I don't know what's going on, my energy levels. I said, your energy levels are not going to be the same every single day, right? We've been really, really tired the last 4 days because we've spent 42 hours coming back home, and we hadn't slept for 2 nights and all that. And the energy levels were not, my energy levels good today? Yeah, absolutely. But not every day we get up. I said, but every time you've committed to do a certain task, you do it even if you don't feel like it. And it's the same thing. Not everyone loves bookkeeping where you got to do it. You know, if you're not at a point where you can outsource it, you know, checking your emails, all that kind of stuff. There is tasks in our business that we don't like to do, not every single day. Certainly the swimming was fun and we really were enjoying it the first 5 or 6 days, but there were moments like, it's like, oh really, we're on holidays, you know, shouldn't we just be kicking back and relaxing? Like, you could give yourself all those excuses, right? But no, just go, and I'm gonna feel amazing when this finishes, and every single time I did. All right, so we've talked about routine, we've talked about the loyalty and customer service, we've talked about sales, we talked about comfort zone. Of course, taking a break is where inspiration and new ideas come to life. When you are completely in brain, you know, I felt like, you know, at times like my brain was like a mush, because of course I wasn't stimulating it so much as I do on a daily basis when I am on during the week and all that kind of stuff. But it is when you can take that spontaneous and time off, which is what we spoke about, you know, on my birthday. I had the idea of writing this book. So 24th of May, sitting at the Gold Class Cinemas, I had the idea. So this is now 50 days later. This book is here because I just said, oh my God, it was in a moment when I was having time for myself, just relaxing, being spontaneous, just doing nothing, that I had the best ideas come up. And certainly that didn't fail me this time. I took a little book away where I wrote all my big things that I want to do when I come home. And of course I wrote some other notes at the front of it. As ideas came up, I would jot them down and I'll just keep going. I keep going with the holidays. So it's really, it was, it's valuable to take the time off and really not, you know, to do your best to have that spontaneous period, because it is in that period you're going to get your best ideas and your most innovative entrepreneurial next steps that you're going to be taking. All right, the 100 hits ball game with Judd. Okay, so you guys know the game. I pretended this holiday. I said to Stuart, look, me and my mum invented this game. No one else played this game before, which is not true, but it became a bit of a joke in the family. But you have that ball, you know, it's a softball, not the blow-up ones, just like a soccer ball, but a light one. And we obviously play a little volleyball in the water, and we count how many times we can hit it. And we set goals each and every time. Now, Judd has only started becoming better at it. Me and Stuart can get 500 hits without it dropping. But with Judd, you know, he's getting better and better. And Stuart set us this big challenge to get to 100 with Judd. Okay, we had gotten to 20, 30, 40, but never 100. Because during this holiday, your goal, guys, is to get to 100 hits. And I was like, okay. You know, that's a great goal. I think it's not too far out, not unachievable, but it's a bit of a challenge. So I really want to get that. And so Judd and I started, and every day we'd get in the water and do it because we knew that we had this goal, and we had a lot of fun and mucked around. It took us 10 days. It took us 10 days to get to 100, and we got 102. Before we dropped the ball the last day. It was the most massive celebration. You could say hugging, high fives. I said, what celebratory drink are we going to have? And it was like amazing, you know, that we had achieved this goal. Like, you know, we persisted. We just turned up every day. We tried, our shoulders would be sore. But the point of this story was that actually we had a lot more fun doing it for the 10 days. The moment of celebration of the achievement lasted maybe for a couple of hours, like we did it, and then hugs, and then we had our drink and cheers and all that kind of stuff. But it's like human beings, it's really important that we learn to embrace that journey than just to achieve that specific goal. Because once you've achieved a specific goal, guess what? Your brain starts to go, yeah, what next, right? What next? Because then the following day we had this kind of letdown of like, oh, well, we've done it now. What else is there to do? He goes, let's go for 500. I go, 500? I said, at least 150 or something like that. And I was teaching him about realistic and achievable goals and all this kind of stuff. And it was really, you know, I really kind of missed then the journey to get to the 100. Rather than just getting the 100, but still achieving a goal is also a lot of fun, and it was great to know and see him celebrate and get a reward and all that sort of stuff. So the point of this little story is, of course, enjoy the journey. because the destination is awesome when you get there, but you're being a human being, you'll want to evolve and you want to reset and achieve the next goal on this journey. So enjoy the destination. Okay, so let's go through the cancel flight home. And I've got 2 or 3 more points. As I said, we will go over the half an hour. And if you have come on late, go back and have a look at the beginning or catch the end if you need to go now. All right. So cancel flight home. This really, and I guess I'll bundle this up with traveling with kids, because a lot of people go, how do you travel with 3 kids, blah 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 blah. And it's like, it's not hard. It's just like, it's your mindset. How do you frame it? What do you tell yourself it's going to be like? All right, so this is what happened. So we were due to fly out at 9:40 p.m. last Tuesday night from Bangkok. We had left the island at 8:30 in the morning, so we had already been in our travel time 12-14 hours, because we flew from the island back to Bangkok for an hour, and then we hung out at the Novotel by the pool for the whole day, so we wouldn't sit at the airport, which was the best choice. And they let you hang out there for free and use their facility, which was really handy and a lot more comfortable. So we're all like, okay, great, one last flight home. And we got on the plane and there was bad weather. So they said, look, we need to wait it out. It can be 10 to 60 minutes, but we can't sort of take off all the ground stuff and not on the runway. So we're just going to wait. So we waited. All right. Then we start taxiing to take off, right? That taxiing takes almost 40 minutes, taxiing down to the runway, maybe because of the backlog of planes as well. And as we're about to take off, and this is like already 2 hours sitting in the plane. Luckily, I had downloaded some Netflix shows. So I was actually being distracted. Kids all fell asleep. The minute we got on the plane, they're asleep. So they're 2 hours in the plane. I'm just watching my next Netflix shows because I don't want to kind of look at the clock. And the pilot just says, we've just noticed a fault with the aeroplane. We actually need to go back to the gate and get engineering to check it, and then we can be on our way. And okay, so all the way back, there's no aircon. Her plane switched off, and there was no aircon on the plane. So we were right at the back, and it was like hot as. It was like a sauna. People started getting distressed and all this sort of stuff. And they were trying to get a bus out to pick up. They said, we got to get off the plane, right? And we didn't know at this stage whether we were going to fly or not. So only one bus could be spared, no other buses, so that everyone had to wait. They said parents with kids can get off, and those that are very distressed. And so our kids are like sleeping for 3.5 hours already. I said to Stuart, do we get off or do we sit here like right to the end and all that sort of stuff? And the pilot came to the back of the plane, and Stuart overheard him that we're probably not taking off tonight. Stuart goes, I don't think we're flying tonight. I said, grab the kids so we can get on that first bus, because if they're putting us in hotels, if we're the last, we're not going to get to a hotel, right? Like it's going to be 5, 6 in the morning. So grab the kids, ran off the plane, last person on the bus, first person off the bus, through immigration again, first person on the list to get onto the hotel. So we were back at the Novotel, now staying at the hotel, and by 2 a.m. Luckily, because the last people didn't get to their hotels till 6 a.m. and then we didn't fly until 3 p.m. the next day. Anyway, in amongst all of this, I'm observing human behavior and different reactions and responses, and obviously people are already tired. It's past midnight, so no, that the tired bit. Don't fight when you're tired. Those people who have not done work on themselves and are in reactive mode are just flaring up. It was very, very interesting to watch. And I just say, thank God I know about reframing and understanding that there's nothing you can do about it. What, do you want to get home safe, or do you want to go on a plane that perhaps has a fault, that something can go wrong midair? So what we chose to do is just, we were laughing, we were being really easygoing. We met new people, like everyone was in the same situation, so you have a common ground to go. To build rapport around. We were joking what was the pilot, probably spilled his coffee on the dashboard or something along those lines, just mucking around. And And I killed the time watching Netflix, and I was like, you kind of just get off, go where they tell you, try to have a rest, come back home, and all that sort of stuff. So reframing in life and business is so, so important, because we can let certain situations stress us out, make us feel uptight. I mean, people were yelling obscenities to people. Even the next day, once everyone had had a rest and got on the plane when we took off, all sorts of stuff was being yelled out from everywhere. It was just like, when we landed into Melbourne, it was like just some people were so aggressive and nasty. In a situation, especially we fly a lot nowadays, everyone tends to fly, just things like this are gonna happen. It's no one's fault. People are doing the best they can. And servicing 340 people, when everyone's tired is not an easy feat. So I just want to say thank you to everyone that looked after us, the crew and the pilots and all that kind of stuff, and got us home safe in the end. So next time you find yourself in that situation, it can be stressful. I even was in this situation when I had, like this time I didn't have a connecting flight. I still knew I had 3 or 4 days at home, so I was quite relaxed, that I wasn't going to be late for anything. But even it happened to me when I was flying from Perth to Adelaide, when we had a near-death heart attack, where we had to land into Kalgoorlie as an emergency flight. And then they had to take us back to Perth because Adelaide had a curfew. So that meant I missed my half-day event that 20 people who were coming were obviously not going to be serviced. But what did we do? Well, at 1 a.m. in the morning, my husband was, I was rebooking another flight for my connecting flight that I missed. He was on the phone and just making sure everyone was being reshuffled. And I went to Adelaide a week later, and 80% of those people could reattend my event. We just stayed calm, did the tasks that we needed to do to reshuffle stuff, and everything worked out as it should in the end. So what's your behavior in situations where, in group situations where obviously just think people who are dealing with people, they're doing the best they can, and staying as calm as possible is going to, obviously, the end result, I always say to myself, the end result's always going to be the same. So whether I stress or don't stress, like situations where I've misplaced my phone or wallet or whatever, I never stress. I just go, just breathe, it's going to be somewhere. Then I find it a lot quicker than going through all of those emotions, and probably not doing a good thing for my body. I'd be so happy they figured out there was a problem with the plane when still on the ground. Yeah, totally, James. Like, it's just silly. People are so nasty, you guys. Like, people are just really nasty, and it was really bad to see. A very bad side of humanity. Anyway, so last couple of things, traveling with kids, it's not hard. It depends how you look at it, and kids will act the way you show them. They act in a way that they observe your behavior, not what you tell them to do. They will act how they observe you. If you're chilled out, laughing, having jokes, they're kind of going, this is what I should be doing, right? They weren't grumpy. They weren't, whinging at 1 o'clock in the morning when we're taking off the plane, standing around for an extra hour to get the bags and get taken to the hotel. Everything worked out. They will observe how you travel and how you turn up, and then they're going to go. Like, literally, they slept for 4 hours while all of this was happening in the plane. Got off the plane. They had their nap, so they were okay till 2. The next day was day flight. Again, they slept for 4 hours at the end of it. They watched all of the flight entertainment and all that sort of stuff. We really don't even need to look after them. They're just kind of self-sufficient and obviously trained up, So make sure that when you're traveling with kids, observe how everyone's behavior is, because there were moments when we were frustrated with one another and angry and whingy and whiny, and one day we had like a family meeting, and I said, guys, whenever someone's angry, whingy or whiny, it spreads like a virus, right? Because one person starts off, another one bites back, then the parents go off and all this sort of stuff. And I said, just think about it. When everyone is kind and loving to each other, then that kind of, everyone's happy and we're doing stuff and everything is going well. But when there's anger and rage and tantrums. I said it spreads from young to old and everywhere. And this is what, what's happening obviously on the plane. People who are actually happy hung out with the happy people who were like grumpy, like they were like, the energy of all those vibrations, which we know is so, so true. And the last thing I wanted to say, as I'm coming to a close with some of my insights around all of this, is to remember in life to spend money on experiences over things. I have to say, I read this line, I think in a book called The Happiness Advantage a few years ago, and it made a lot of sense. And I kind of reflected on my own life and the fact that, when I was a kid, that's exactly what our family did. Now I'm doing it with my kids. And to ensure that, because those experiences are memories we have forever, for as long as we live, and obviously our children have. So of course, have your house, your car, whatever it is. But as Robert Kiyosaki, Rich Dad, Poor Dad says, don't spend them all the time on doodads. Spend them on experiences. And I would have to say a significant percentage of our play money is experiences. Significant. I would say 90% over 10% on little, on things, I would say. So I hope you found some value and some entertainment through some of these stories. How many books did I read, Christine? This massive one. I read the book. I finished reading and I then started all the first one. Well, this is like 5 books. It's called The Good Life, The Art of the Good Life, right? I had only read 25%. I finished that. That was on my iPhone, and this is actually the notes I was making in my workbook. And then this book, I read, this was my, I bought it at the airport. I said, I'm going to read this massive book, but I don't like reading massive books, but I go, just take it one bit at a time. And then I got the notes. So if you haven't got the notes, you guys, of this particular book, my highlights, there was 10 pages of highlights that I pulled together out of it. I posted them up in the file section of the Ultimate Business Support Facebook group. So if you're not part of the group, join in and go to the file sections and get them off as the PDF. There's a lot of insights and tools there that are extracted and I'm going to use now. And I got some ideas of what I want to do. You always kind of feel like you have a fresh start when you come back from a big break. But yeah, so that's pretty much the couple of books that I read. Of course, I was working and finishing Shut Up and Write Your First Book. So I was finishing the editing, I was finishing the layout. I did everything from poolside. Seriously, I did not work at very much. Like I literally, some days I did nothing. The days I did 10, 15 minutes. Around end of financial year, I did a couple of hours those days to finish my accounting and send that off to the accountant. All of that is done and across the line. Even got onto a new software which I learned to use. James, if you're still on, I'm getting good at Wave. I'm just going to confirm with my accountant at the end of July that it's all good and everything's been entered correctly. But Wave.com is a free accounting software. Instead of say going on to a monthly subscription like with Xero and all that sort of stuff. So I'm planning to use that. So yeah, guys, so the book's out. I'll post the link if you do want a copy. I'm already posting the pre-releases are going to go out today. The planners are out. So the pink and the black 2019 Ultimate Success this year are out. Obviously limited stock and they've got a few little changes. I'll post the link on that. I'll post a link about the free extra book that comes with that. If you don't want the book, you can just get the free ebook. Oh, Christine, you use Wave. Great. Awesome. And that's great to know that another person is using it. And yeah, so I'm starting my national tour. There's going to be events left, right, and center this next 2.5 months. This is our next stint of focus and deliver amazing value to people and help more people get it over themselves and write that very first book. So starting off with Brisbane, tomorrow Gold Coast the next day. And a big thing next week's happening is the Melbourne 2-day masterclass. So we're doing the Lead Explosion masterclass with Francesca Moy. Too many ahas to count, finishing my 4-week break. No book, but lots of ideas. Cool, Bernie. So next week, Tuesday, Wednesday at Airport West, we're hosting a 2-day 9 to 5 Lead Explosion Masterclass, which happens twice a year in Melbourne, twice a year in Brisbane for our clients, but people who are not our authors or others can even also buy a ticket to them. It's $97 for a ticket for 2 full days of massive, intensive, super fun training. So I'll post all those links below when I get off this call. It's been a lot of fun to be back. I always go, oh my God, will I still have it in me, to speak because, after not speaking publicly and not doing live streams and not doing anything remotely business related, I always get nervous going, do I still know how to speak on stage? Do I still know how to do a live stream? Will I be as good as I was before? But Stuart says once you get going, it just comes back. It's like riding a bike, right? Awesome. All right, gorgeous people. Have an amazing day. Leave me some questions or comments if what you liked or what was an insight or aha moment for you. It's been great. I will be back next Monday on live. Let me know if there's any specific topics you'd like me to cover off. Always love talking about different aspects of business, not just authoring, even though that is my core thing, how I help people, but authoring is much bigger. Authoring is a business. Really equals running a business, because your book is the central point and you've got to know all of the other things to make that book successful. So have an amazing Monday, smash it out, and I'm off to finish my packing and fly off to Brisbane. See you from that side. Bye.